The second season of The Last of Us gave us the most shocking death, which marks the exit of Pedro Pascal from the series as a main character. Joel is dead, and the show will not be the same. Even if you played the game and you saw the death coming from a mile away, it was still shocking because who knew we would get that in the second episode. With that being said, now the second chapter of the story has officially begun, and fans are wondering what will happen next. So in this video, we're breaking down everything we know and everything we think we know about the show, and how the rest of the season might unfold with Joel being gone. So hold on to your butts, and let's get down to business.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Joel's death, the aftermath. To say Joel's death was just a pivotal scene in the story would be an understatement. It quite literally changes the course of the show as a whole. In the game, Joel's death happened early on, and the show followed those very footsteps. However, Pedro Pascal's performance as Joel, and the way he's been trying to reconnect with Bella Ramsey's Ellie, has had us all hoping for the best. This is why, when the death finally happened, it was way more visceral than either of us had expected. Pascal collapsed quietly, and with the stark lighting and the silence that followed, we all felt the loss of the character. Craig Mazin, the show's creator, stated that this decision was made because the creators wanted the audience to feel that loss just as hard as Ellie did. And almost immediately, we see the change in Ellie. She's furious, she's upset, and now she wants vengeance. Up until now, Jackson has been a place that symbolized safety, community, and hope. The world around Ellie simply ceased to exist. Her relationship with Tommy and Maria almost instantaneously vanished with Joel's death. Joel's death does not just mean the loss of a father figure for Ellie, it's also her identity crisis. The man who quite literally went up against the Fireflies, the man who gave her security, comfort, and safety, was just gone. And without Joel, Ellie is simply adrift. Jackson, too, lost its meaning to her, and the only person who could have been able to reach her was Dina. Well, Ellie is shutting her out because she's now on her vengeance arc. She's now the main character, and we all know how Ellie perpetuated the cycle of hate that she didn't even start in the first place in the game.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you!
Ellie's vengeance arc. So after Joel's death in the game, Ellie's main journey happens in Seattle over the course of 3 days. She quite literally goes out to kill Abby, but while on the journey, she starts unraveling things about herself that she never considered before. And with the way the show is going, I wouldn't be surprised if it follows the same structure as the game. Ellie and Dina will now become two angsty teenagers, ready for vengeance, and there will be a lot of emotionally fueled storylines. The game's pacing is different from the show, and the show's lore has definitely given us a few changes regarding the cordyceps and the stalkers. However, the emotional weight of each episode will be just as heavy as it was in the games. If I had to guess, we would see each of the days in Seattle dragged out into full episodes, making us, the viewers, marinate in the discomfort and the horror of it all. The kills that Ellie do in the coming days will be messy, brutal, and cruel. She's not doing it to survive or for some sense of justice. Those kills are fueled by grief and the need to channel the rage and sorrow into something. Dina will have no choice but to watch as Ellie becomes more and more akin to a stranger. Tensions will rise, and their relationship will be tested. Now, we don't know if Dina will be pregnant in the show like she was in the game. In the show, we saw Dina drink alcohol, but it could be that she drank it because she didn't know that she was pregnant, and now the whole pregnancy would be a whole lot of unraveling that no one is ready for. And let's not forget, in the game, Jesse shows up at one point when everything is flying high. That would certainly complicate things between Dina and Ellie, with or without the pregnancy. At the end of the day, the whole point of this arc is that Ellie believes that killing Abby will take away the pain that she feels. It will give her the closure that she desires so badly, and this obsession will drive her to commit all of those murders, only to find out the more blood spilled, the more lost and broken she became.
Evil, 'cause I'm blind to it all.
What about Abby? Now, here's the thing. Right now, we see Abby and think of her as the villain, right? But there's one thing. Abby's not the villain. She's actually the other protagonist of the show. In the game, although Abby's role is controversial, to say the least, she's the essential role that drives the show forward. The showrunners know that, and that's why, in their interview with Esquire and Variety, they've explained that they will show Abby with great care. I assume that Abby would get her very own episode. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one of those episodes right after one of those Seattle days, humanizing her right after we saw Ellie's brutality. Abby killed Joel, and there's no doubt about that. But Abby is also the victim. She knew that her father, the Firefly surgeon that Joel murdered, would have been able to create a vaccine that could have saved them all. Not only that, but her father was her world, and Joel took that from her. So in a way, we could say that Abby is Ellie on the opposite side. She's quite literally Ellie's reflection. I'm hoping to see Abby as part of the Washington Liberation Front, WLF, which controls parts of Seattle. We'll probably meet Owen, Manny, Mel, and Nora there. When Ellie's story catches up with Abby, the fine line between hero and villain is becoming completely blurred. And that's what makes The Last of Us so good.
You want to rob us? Fine. Take what you want.
Do we look like raiders to you?
Shows divergence from the game. When a game gets adopted into a TV show, we expect there to be a few changes. And for what we've seen so far, the HBO show is not afraid of remixing the story a little bit. In Season 1, we got more flashbacks and lore that developed the characters in a way that we didn't see in the games. And Season 2 is following suit. If I had to guess, I think after Joel's death, we'll see how Jackson falls apart without him before Ellie decides to leave for good. Maybe we would get more flashbacks about Joel and Tommy's relationship and dive a little deeper into Dina's backstory. And perhaps this is where the pregnancy thing would come to fruition. Fans believe that we will be introduced to the Seraphite siblings Lev and Yara way before it happens in the game. It could just mean that Abby and Lev meet way before Ellie is in Seattle. This would give Abby a lot more emotional grounding in a way. The game didn't allow for a linear structure. We had constant changes in perspective and time jumps, but I doubt the show would go in that direction. Maybe the show would turn into something that's a lot more streamlined, making it easier for us to follow. Or the show could give us back-to-back equations, switching back and forth between Ellie and Abby. But one thing we know for sure, even if you have the games, Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have some surprises in store for us. In the game, stalkers are people who have been infected for a long time, but in the show, stalkers symbolize the evolution of the cordyceps brain infection. So with that as an added on threat, I'm definitely buckling up for the ride Mazin and Druckmann have for us. The entourage of new faces. The second act of the game not only gave us a few perspectives on Ellie and Abby, but also gave us new characters that complicated everything. Dina is not just Ellie's best friend / girlfriend. She's the moral compass. In the game, when her pregnancy was revealed, everything changed in an instant. If the show sticks with the game, I'm curious to see how Dina's pregnancy would change things for the character here. Jesse is a close friend. Whether you like him or not, there's no denying that he's extremely loyal. In the game, when Jesse died, fans were devastated because the death happened so abruptly. With the way Joel's death was handled, I'm worried that Jesse's death in the show would be a greater turning point for the characters than we're thinking. The Seraphite siblings challenge Abby's belief and make her question, WLF, that she was following blindly. Lev becomes Abby's eye-opener and emotional support. He's resilient and resistant, and he has the possibility of redemption that Abby desperately needs. The other WLF members we will meet, even if they seem like villains, are just people who are trying to do the right thing. We will also meet Isaac, and it will be interesting to see how Abby reacts when she starts to get hunted by her own people. Nora's death in the game was so horrifying because I didn't think Ellie would go for something as brutal as that. She intentionally exposed both of them to the spores in the hopes of gaining answers. And if that happens in the show, I think the brutality of the scene would be far more shocking than I can imagine. This also makes me wonder if we'll see the rankings in the show. In the games, in the Seattle hospital, which was ground zero for the outbreak, we saw the Rat King. If the show gives us the Rat King, would they follow the same timeline aspect of the infections, or would they chalk it up to more mutated evolution? Who knows? Themes of the second season. On the surface, you would think that a second season is about survival or stalkers, but the reality is that the second season is about grief. Ellie has lost herself completely to grief. She thinks that if she kills Abby, she might feel better. But the truth is, no matter how many people she kills, Joel will never come back. And by the time she reaches the theater, she's completely unrecognizable. Parallelly, Abby is on a journey of healing. She thought killing Joel would do something, but it really didn't. She's still just as broken, and then she meets Lev and Yara. These two manage to bring her humanity and kindness back, giving her hope. The journeys of these two women are parallels to each other, with the dichotomic forces used to question everyone's actions. The show is also not about justification or morality. It's about actions, consequences, and pain that we, the characters, have to carry together. Predicting Season 2. If I had to guess, I think Season 2 would unfold in a chronological manner. In the third episode, I think Ellie and Dina would argue with everyone present in Jackson about going out on their journey to Seattle. Tommy would get flashbacks of Joel, wondering about their new relationship, and we would see how Joel's loss impacted everyone, and how the grief is shared, even if Ellie doesn't see it. In episode 4, we will see Ellie's arrival in Seattle, and her first major conflict with WLF. Jesse will arrive, and we'll get to see Abby meeting with the Seraphite siblings around here. Then in episode 5, we should see Abby's backstory, and her current relationship with the siblings, as well as how that instigates the conflict within the Seraphites. Then in episode 6, we see the death piling up. Ellie kills Nora, and Jesse dies, leaving the confrontation a cliffhanger. Episode 7 would show the big confrontation, leaving the last arc for Season 3, where the whole Santa Barbara arc will be explored for good. How the audience feels about the second season. Unsurprisingly, a lot of fans are not happy about Joel's death. The reaction ranged from horror and grief to straight up fury. Some people demand Pedro Pascal's return, while others might think that the show is extremely bold for choosing this kind of storytelling and the narrative risks they're taking. Craig Mazin said in an interview that they killed Joel because the second season focuses on what happens after his death. When asked about the backlash they're receiving, this challenging aspect of The Last of Us is what made the game so well loved by the fans. It's here to challenge our ideas and to make us sit through the discomfort, wondering what truly is justified in the story. Marvelous verdict. The Last of Us was never about who was right or wrong. It's a story about the choices we make and how to live with it. It's about whether redemption is even possible for you when you've created so much damage. With Joel's death, Ellie's descent into rage has begun, and Season 2 promises us one of the most emotionally brutal seasons ever. It'll be painful, but there's a beauty in the pain, and I have a feeling we'll be talking about the show for a long time. Let us know what you guys think about the second episode of The Last of Us, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.